Welcome to Opinionated Monsters. I'm Scott McClellan of Carnival Diablo.
I'm Sonzi from automotive.
I'm Kevin the Zombie King from zombieinfo.com.
And I'm Jessica, camp counselor.
Well, with the weather as it is, and the season as it is, it makes me think of summer. And well, summer means only one thing. Summer camp. Now, we're not going to really be talking about real summer camp. We're going to be talking about horror summer camp, which is really exciting, actually.
I was afraid you were shipping me off to camp.
Well, I've been thinking about that, but we're not going to talk about that right now. It's kind of like, what is that, Fight Club thing? But I don't care about that.
So I never really saw the draw of summer camp personally because, you know, it just seemed like your parents were saying, you know, your father and I don't want you around, so get out of here. We're getting rid of you for a couple months.
That's the idea.
That's the point.
Oof, no. And on top of that, once you're there, you know, you're having to sleep with dozens of strangers. And
Kind of like that idea.
You're stuck outside, and there's birds, and there's bugs, and there's fish, and there's always the odds that some madman is eventually going to come and murder you. That does not appeal to me.
Well, first off, I have to say, before you go any further, they'll come to murder you. I'm not too worried about myself, but carry on.
So, basically, summer camp movies have just really never resonated with me because that's not anything I've ever been interested in. One movie that I really did enjoy, it's not a summer camp movie per se, but it does have that sort of feel, is a recent release called Silent Retreat. This is a Canadian movie. It was released just this year. I believe it's in theaters right now. And it was really enjoyable. It's basically about these young girls who go off to sort of a reform camp in the middle of the woods. And I don't want to spoil too much of it, but you know, there's some great discussion about gender politics, as well as, you know, urbanization, and what happens, you know, when we push in on nature a little too far. And it's just a really interesting take, kind of a more grown-up take, I think, less about, you know, just the blood and the gore, and more of a quiet, more thoughtful movie.
So I probably hate it, is what you're saying.
Quite probably.
I know I did.
I didn't hate it. I saw it. We know I saw it because there's a review on zombieinfo.com. But I loved the 3 or 4 movies it was trying to be. I just wished it would have picked something and went with it. So, yeah.
Agreed.
But I can see where you're going with the whole summer camp deal, you know? Because those cabins in the woods,
That stuff's going down.
Stay in one with him, that's really scary.
That's true. I've
Camp
done
slush.
that. Yeah.
Just saying.
Winter.
I grew up in the country. Every day was summer camp. I mean, I lived on 50 acres of land and unfortunately no rampaging maniacs. However,
I used to visit.
yeah. And oddly enough, what he brought was Friday the 13th. And I can't think of a summer camp movie without thinking of Friday the 13th. It's the ultimate summer camp movie. I mean, let's face it, the lead villain, the lead monster in the story is a kid who drowned at summer camp, whose mother ostensibly comes back in the first one and murders all the camp counselors, and then gets murdered herself, and then he comes back and kills all of the camp counselors. And this goes on for, well, at last count, 12 movies. Although not all of them actually take place at camp, all of them at least reference Camp Crystal Lake at some point or another.
Or Camp Blood. Yeah.
3 is my favorite one, definitely. I love with Crazy Ralph and all the camp counselors there dying in the most inane ways possible.
And I'll take a second.
And nobody ever actually clues in that there's a maniac.
I'll take a second to say rest in peace, Richard Brooker. We were one of the best Jasons.
Definitely. But to me, Jason will always be synonymous with camp. I can't go by a camp without thinking about him, and I can't actually stay in a cabin without thinking, is there somebody with a machete out there to get me? And it wasn't him.
Ha! Well.
You're dreading it. I know you're dreading it.
I'm dreading it because, you see, I didn't like the Friday the 13th series, and I also wasn't big on the summer camp thing, so I'm just going to let you move on now to what you think, because I know you're going to love it too.
Summertime, summer camp, summer camping, going out and hanging out in a van down by the river. All of these things definitely scream summer to me. For me, even though Friday the 13th absolutely was one of those big summer camp movies, it was all about sleepaway camp for me. Sleepaway camp actually helped form my language patterns, of today. Sleepaway Camp actually made me always sort of check beneath the hood to make sure there's a proper engine running. I'm just saying.
Some
Explains
girls
a lot.
aren't,
Summer camp,
some
I'm
girls
telling
aren't
you.
built like others. That's what he's saying.
I'm just saying,
I see.
Sleepaway
See,
Camp
I
features.
was lost
now,
for a second
the
there.
first one is actually a frightening, terrifying, psychological sort of, killer in the woods kind of thing, that sort of draws you in and pulls you along. And then of course it had its big twist ending. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, I'm about to blow it. It turns out she is not exactly a she.
Oh.
Was raised as a girl because the mom wanted a little girl. But it's very messed up because the cousin of Angela being the main character, is actually the foulest mouthed little New York kid I've ever seen. In fact, he coined the term, "Hey, you." It's amazing. It's the first time, like it was back in the 80s when it came out, and I was blown away that alliteration of just was, it was magic. Now the second Sleepaway Camp, they tried and failed in my view, although it did spawn a third. They tried to turn Angela into a Freddy or a Michael or a Jason. They tried to basically make Angela into this crazy, wacky little killer. She kind of comes off as like an Avon lady coming to kill you.
She does.
She does, and it's a little weak.
But hey, you got to do something when you're Bruce Springsteen's sister.
Yeah, you got to do something.
Pamela Springfield is, of course, Angela. Bruce Springsteen's sister plays the grown-up killer, Angela. And I think it's actually 3 sequels.
Yeah, there was. Well, there's one that's unfinished. If you get the actual first aid kit version, which,
Is it
by
only
the
3
way,
DVDs? I thought there were. Oh,
they
it's
actually
expensive.
sued. The Red Cross sued to get them pulled off the shelves. So if you have one of the original DVD sets with the Red Cross, it's actually a rare item because it looks like a medical kit. Red Cross pulled them, had them pull it off the shelves and repackage and re-release it. You think summer, you think Sleepaway Camp, you think all these wonderful, great summer killer movies. I mean, look at Cabin in the Woods or Evil Dead.
That's true.
They happen in a cabin in the woods, which is camping.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, Cabin in the Woods is camping. That's exactly
Cabin in
what
the
they're
Woods
doing.
is camping.
Yeah.
And Cabin in the
It's-
Woods
it's
is
not summer camp though.
No.
Well, it's
And
not.
so
Yeah, the
you're-
summer camp.
You're segueing, and I don't like it.
Well,
Some of those things I do like, and so far the summer camp and the Jason thing just hasn't been sitting well with me. So,
I'll get you.
That being said, my favorite, I guess, summer camp movie is Adam's Family Values.
Oh!
Yes. Yeah. You see,
He doesn't get it.
it's okay, and because I don't get half the crap that you're saying. So it's like, ultimately, what it comes down to is Wednesday Addams and Pugsley are sent to summer camp, and what ensues is classic. It makes me happy. It makes me laugh. And of course, the other storyline with Uncle Fester and his bride is actually wonderful also. But the summer camp sequences make me feel the way I feel about summer camp.
Yeah, that is what would have happened if my parents had sent me to summer camp.
Getting
Pretty
stuck
much.
in that little tiny cabin with the happy videos and the pastel walls and the kumbaya, that to me is horror. That is absolute horror. And so this is the way I am going to end it, actually. Adam's Family Values, summer camp. Screw the rest. You'll always I. Yeah, okay.
Cop out.
That's not a cop-out.
It's a comedy.
That's not even close
It's
to
a
a cop.
comedy. It's a comedy. It's not a horror movie.
No,
Not
it's
a
the
cop-out.
Addams Family.
It's-
Yeah,
the
which is a
Addams
comedy
Family.
about horror.
And it's still
a comedy about what?
About horror.
About what?
horror. If you have a scary summer camp horror story, put it in the comments section below.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter.
And of course, subscribe to Opinionated Monsters. You won't regret it.
Easy,
I win.
Easy Air Jordan, you're reaching.